Hello people of the internet, what's up? My name is Harper and I welcome you on my channel. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe. You know the drill, so let's get started. Hello guys, what's up? Today I'm playing a game called Touchstarved. Without further ado, let's begin. Disclaimers. Streamers and content creators should turn music volume to 0 in order to disable copyrighted music. Good thing I've already done that. This is a demo of the Touchstarved Prelude and not the finished product. Thank you. Content warning. Touchstarved is intended for an older audience. It contains mature content that includes but is not limited to horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol, drug reference, injury, and dismemberment. Player discretion is advised. If you accept the content warning, please click to proceed. In Touchstarved, your choices matter. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text, which contains exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You may even uncover a secret ending. And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. Controls. Left click is equals to progress text and dialogue. Mouse wheel up, rewind text and dialogue. Mouse wheel down, progress text and dialogue. Spacebar, hide the UI. Press space again to bring it back. Okay, so choose your name. Well, my name is Harper. Submit. Choose your pronouns. She/her. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It began with the fog fall, special mist blent from the seams where reality was so thin it split. And from that the fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, while others were mindless beasts driven by little more than the desire to slaughter. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in their fear while monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. Okay, so this is the first choice of us. Let's see. The unnamed, the fallen oracle. You were raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priest claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Following the mage's words, you fled to search of the cenobium. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate, innate sixth sense gives you a heightened sense awareness of hidden supernatural powers around you. The Hound, a forsaken thief. You were raised by the society's outcast, criminals who accepted you when no one else would. Your partner in crime, a friend since childhood, helped you steal enough money for a cure. They, then they betrayed you. They left you with only enough coins to travel to the cenobium, your last hope. You have sharply honed social intuition. You can survive and even thrive in the violent underbelly of any city, using your experience with the underworld to get ahead. An exiled Cenobian mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to the Cenobium, seeking a cure. You are an experienced spellcaster with encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. Oh, nice. Now this is hard. Which one should I choose? Hmm, I guess this is the most interesting one since we are an experienced spellcaster. Let's confirm. Your name is Harper. You selected she/her pronouns. Your backstory is the alchemist. Is this correct? Yes, it is. So I'm guessing we are going with the story now. Okay. The wasteland stretches as far as the eyes can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and the countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. Alright, before the storyline, can we just appreciate the art for a moment? It's so beautiful. Okay, anyway, continuing with the story. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined the caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair, but then I saw it. Whoa, that's so cool. Iradia, yes, City of Knowledge. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, but anyway. One of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy called Cenobium. All the world's knowledge scattered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. All that stands between me and the cure is a final stretch of soul-soaked wastes, or so I think, until I see the first tendrils of snow seeking beneath the wagon. Hushed voice. Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm, more devastating than fire, dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern lights. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist, falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled cry. Distant voice, stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard. The air punched from my lungs. When I opened my eyes, adrenaline led a sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. bodies littered the wasteland. I tried to rise, but my ankle explodes while with pain so blinding, white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caverner. I freeze, but it swirls its head, a dozen whirling eyes, twitching in my direction, blinking as one. The soulless lets out an ear-slitting shriek, runs at me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move now. Uh, I feel like I'm definitely going to get caught, so let's head towards the wagon. I take cover beside the wagon where the air is thick with greasy smoke. Fire eats through the gaping hill, spluttering where lanterns' oil mixes with blackish water. Every person I see is dead or dying, except one. O All-Mother, forgive our sins, guide us into your heart. We are worthy, we are worthy. Traveler growls by the flames, their hand clasped above their head in fervent prayer. I glance upwards towards the gauzy lights of Aradia, just visible where the fog runs thinnest. I don't pray, but the sight of the city is all the reminder I need. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the footfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips in a patch of mud. The soulless falls on him as soon as he slows. It catches the driver by his throat, rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a streaming ride. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit. My hand catches me on the jagged edge of a rib jutting up from the water. Bandage unfurls around the god's stern, deep into my palm. The pain catches the pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Traveler, can you stand? The praying traveler leans over me. We need to run. I reach for my hand. I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me. The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the spare of breath, my curse takes hold. I'm pretty sure I should save here. Okay, let's continue. Then the lips peel back into a deranged grin. Ha! Hee. No, I've seen this before. This face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. The grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go. Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off the breath. Die, 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 die. Spit bubbles at the corners of the mouth and flecks my face. The edges of my vision darkens as my lungs scream for air. Screaming for help is definitely not going to do good. Who's even going to save me here? So let's fight them. My nails goes deep into the traveler's wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter the grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowly with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die, not because of the fogfall or the soulless, but because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, 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 no. Not here. Not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine. Lips still spit into the macabre smile even as blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claws hooked through the stomach. The soulless shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes studding its leathery skin thin as dough. There's a flash of claws, red spill across my vision. I thought there was pain, but I sink into the murky water. All I can feel is a greater slit from my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. Distantly, I notice an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds, mine neatly severed at the elbow. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have a home. Instead, I'll die cold, alone, and face down in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. Uh, is this the end? Okay. Okay, so that was not the end. If this is that, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as if, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment I take a reflexive breath. Air pours into my lungs, then out again in a raised grasp. Feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface underneath me, a strange tang of sulfur in the air. Do not be afraid. Huh? Who's this now? Okay, he looks handsome. Okay, getting off topic here. I twist my head towards the voice. Tears flood my very vision at the brightest glow of lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding. But more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is. I'm completely at your mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out in little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No, no. Who the hell is this? Uh, I'm pretty sure I'm weak, so let's just lay back down and not risk getting hurt again. I let myself slump back against the thin pillow, wincing when the motion jolts my head. Ah, a cooperative patient. Thank you. The words swim in one ear and out the other, without much comprehension. I pull the sheets up higher, wiping my eyes until my vision, vision clears. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. That does not look like a medical coat to me. Anyway, I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I noticed I'm completely naked, except for a thin linen sheet. Well, that's good, I guess. Naked, lying on a low cot, with a pair of sharp, golden eyes watching me every move. The man's gaze flicks to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheets to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You're safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere with anyone. Even my own mentor, my teacher, thought I was nothing but a convenient specimen to be used and discarded. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp size ruffles the paper in his hands. I see you're not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. With a soft creak, he slants from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concussions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke, and something distinctively metal that I cannot place. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. Should I thank him or should I ask him to step out? This seems incredibly rude for someone who just saved me, but you know what? Let's be thankful. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Thank you. You're welcome. I'll leave you to get dressed. Okay, he was leaving anyway, so that option was completely useless. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to three in the sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. The piece took my arm clean off. And yet, my arm shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up lighting out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by and my arm remains absolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the displacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They are thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them. But there's one thing still missing, my bandages. The golden eye didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide out of bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump against the edge of the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if he meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move towards me, so I quickly bind the bandages against my hands. The glowing scars and molten skin disappear in the layer of clean white cotton. May ask why you need additional bandages? I clench my jaw, though I know it will be only a moment of time before he asks about my hands, though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. Um, Say nothing, glare at him, decline to answer. Because all of them mean no, so let's just decline to answer. The most politest we can be. Well, that's a very personal question, and I don't really want to answer. Is that so? Surely you realize that I can only help if you tell me what ails you. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? No, best to keep my curse to myself for now, and learn more about him first. Who are you? You may call me Kurus. And where exactly am I? Heredia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Heredia. So made it is a city of knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic. Of course, you were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment, which you provided. Yes, he says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he is explaining basic addition to me. I frowned and flexed the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on. Pardon? A soulless attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I spent my entire life learning from a cerulean rage, and I know of no alchemy or magic that could reattach a severed limb. Even if he somehow could heal me by magic, I should detect traces of it, but I sense nothing out of the ordinary at all. The doctor, Kurus, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Aridia is a city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it is most unwise to give or receive it freely. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. I resist. You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook this specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged arms. Lord, though I am to admit it, he has a point. I am also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep stirring breath. This time when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Harper. My name's Harper. It's a pleasure to meet you, Harper. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Should I question him for saving me or should I thank him? Well, since they did say that information is power, so if I ask another question, I'm pretty sure he's going to get annoyed. So thank you for saving me. I chance a small smile in return. If he won't explain how he did the impossible, there's no doubt in my mind that I'd be dead if not for Kora's. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his voice only raised more urgent questions. But I have to ask, why did he save me? You don't know me. Then why was that option even there? If he was just if we were just going to ask him, then why was the option even there? Anyway, let's continue. The question seems to startle Chorus. I could have hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who has handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of my cloak. There's a subtle but luckily embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Chris might ask for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I remote rarely come across so fascinating a patient. I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely or brave such as a perilous journey to Arabia. I could not help but being a bit curious about the Harper. His voice dips to a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggle my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travels do not have an abundance of coin, and it will be unethical to leave you dissolute in a strange place. I fall silent, unsure what to say to that. Nobody would help a horror like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold, and he spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient for today. Knocking grows even more insistent, and Kuras lets out a tired sigh. Please wait your turn. Though he says this quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything else before you leave, Harper? Oh, between the Solus attack and my miraculous survival, I've almost forgotten why I came to Aridia in the first place. I need directions to the cenobium. The cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words, with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you'll find it there. The cenobium's gates open for a precise few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. Heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Heredia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then if not the Cerebium, where would he suggest? Do you know anyone else in Aradia? I shake my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Wetwick and ask for Leander. Excuse me, the what? The wet what? The Wetwick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the pressings advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, but Chorus points towards the clinic's back door. You will be safe so long as you do not attract attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've almost been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my attention, assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. I find myself standing in an narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pulled a new cloak over my knees, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the street. Something weighs heavily inside one of the loose pockets. My coin purse. Everything is still inside. Every last coin that I slipped together for the journey of India. It doesn't seem like it was even open. There were few coins to begin with. They probably weren't even worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic close to me. Could have been taking payment. He didn't even ask for a piece of favor. But he also said that in Arabia, it's equals to power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter what he did it, Kumas gave me a second chance and to read on where I might find help. I better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside choruses stretches down the road to thin peddlers queue alongside regular tailgates. If any is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherous, rough under my feet. Deep grooves, worn between my feet regularly treading, and decades of hard use. I knew area was a university, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dismantled, all cramming together in narrow streets. A child darts by, clutching something greasy, wrapped in a paper. The smell of canned food is over to me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning cats fired up hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today. That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving, so I duck my head under the stalls of Julia railing. A large fish sees up at me. Its large, thin, bulging eyes still visible through the thick, layer of crispy vacuum. The vendor gives me a gap to the wind. What you see the steamy word. The vendor points at the metal basket of what looks like long sticks of savory fried dough. Press long lads, few couple of these, don't burn him out. I take the counting gingerly. At this rate, I might not be able to afford these. Literally, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. 2 streets later, I pass under a wroughly iron archway, adorning with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of color, painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways. Musical voice call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent smell of flowers, burling covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. This must be Herreria's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs off my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a silver dangle like earring and the word Bloodhound printed over his head. A motto, as above, so below, circles the artwork. If Leander is the leader of the Bloodhounds, then a face printed on the poster is likely his. I followed a line of identical posters around the corner and nearly hit my head at a precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, a faded orange letters read the Wick Wick. The facade of the building looks like it has seen better days, but I hear faint noise and laughter coming from inside. The inside of the bar is a far cry from the random interior. It's not even midday, yet most of the tables and booths are occupied by rooms somewhere matching music. I'm no stranger to bars. Sometimes I take my books to go to a dialogue or see scenery, but I much prefer quiet place. A person can turn up by anyone with a canvas of blue. I'm about to leave the counter when a child arrives on the circle. Show, the remaining clothes abandon the bar and then to rush towards the center in a sudden thought. There's no time to move out of the way. I'm caught along the alley steps curved. Hey, the medic stand around has been and the dust of body that goes heavily. My head's knocked into a table as before, going tight, steady motion, but I got the jacket down. A pair of gliding boots strode across the tabletop. Seriously, he talks again? Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. I drag my eyes upwards. Oh damn. Is everyone in this game hot? Okay, I'm getting distracted. Let's start. A well-dressed man stands on the table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by the thick lapels of a trench coat. This really is the last time, all right? This time when he speaks, the audience falls silent, as though bewitched by his magnetic presence of rich, low voice. But nothing is as captivating as his smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. Don't blink, or you'll miss it. He laughs, and the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It would seem I found Leander. He raises his hand above the audience and snaps. A flash of green, pale light. Real magic, no ordinary stage trick, blinds me. As the brilliant ebbs, my gaze refocuses on the mage towering over me. He flicks his wrist, and the magic spiraling around him coalesces. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers, one by one. Glowing lily petals spring forth. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flowers. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. My mouth hangs open, not just on account of their impressive performance. There was no incantation, no spells or coup. I've never seen something so beautiful and intricate conjured so effortlessly. Leander must be an incredibly gifted mage. No wonder Curious recommended him. Leander plucks the incandescent bow out of the air and turns in a slow circle, giving his audience a good look. Now, who could use some good luck? Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for the lilies while others whistle and call Leander's name. But his cool green eyes slide right over them, logging on me instead. How about you? My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. Uh, I have a feeling that if I do this, it's going to drag way more attention on myself. So let's take the flowers and make a good impression. I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers tremble as I carefully take the flowers from him. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth radiates from the stem. As soon as the flowers leave Leander's hand, the light stem, they fade away in a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers, they don't last long, but leave an impression, right? He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. Leander steps over the table, dropping among the excited crowd with an audible clink. All right, bloodhounds, get back to your drink. Slows away. The one crowds disperse at his command, returning to the tables and plates. Before I can make my way to the Leander, his eyes find me. He gives me a friendly face and pushes me over to the crowded corner. I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's no shoulder that broad shoulders pressed against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Is this your first time in the area? He says it lightly with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm sure that the place is lovely as yours around low town. My eyes flicker to the polished countertop. I'm not used to that. Being this close makes eye contact. As if on cue, the bartender approaches me. What can I get you? Surprisingly, I can add anything my friend wants onto my tab. I wasn't expecting the generosity, but I have to admit, I do feel a little thirsty after all that practice. I'll have what you say. Suddenly, after all, he's paying. I'll have what you Harper tenderly to fix our drinks. He randomly leans his elbow on the counter, close enough to notice the purple shadows under his lock. His eyes wander over to mine and return at the window onto my bag. His hands a sour taste rises. Good. Here comes questions. So, what brings you to the wick? Cola sentry. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, but it immediately like was right at his face. Strolls about him. Bartender turns to the pair of glasses, fully a serious prayer. I use my glass and give it an experiment. It smells faintly whiskey, but with an undercurrent I can't quite taste. A big sip confirms my worst suspicion. It's awful, somehow briny, sour, beat up to my fingertips. But any thought of company died. Yonder taking a deep swig from his glass, he lets out a satisfied breath. How can I be of assistance? get to the synovium. As soon as the word synovium leaves my mouth, the entire bar falls silent. Bloodhounds twist around in their seats to gawk openly. Finally, an especially drunk one speaks up. The hell are you bringing up the synovium in here? Throw 'em out. This is the bloodhound territory. The catches me off guard. From the angry looks thrown my way, it's clear that I have broken some unspoken rule about just by mentioning the synovium. When I glance at Leander, he's drinking, as though he's noticed the uproar. Only when he catches me looking does he lower his glass. For the love of... He drags a hand down his face. Hey, keep it down, will you? This is business. Tenses, squirting her arms, the outspoken bloodhound silently returned to the group. They have to continue to watch me bear. Sorry, Sylvia's a bit touchy subject in this part, mixing in our things and worries. How about continue this outside? And again, there's no, this is only the bloodhound. I follow outside. Alleyway, tucked behind a wet wick, where layers of frayed bloodhound posters have been plastered to the walls. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Leander and his likeness on the poster is impressive. Kudos didn't send you for help with the synovium, did he? Randall, forgive me. He already knows the answer. I glance away. No, he didn't. He suggested I found an alternative. Yet you are asking about them anyway. What do you need a synovium for? I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Well, I see you are already aware of the city's currency. Information's worth its weight in gold here. Kuras told you the truth. The synovium's dangerous. Get on the bad side and they'll imprison you if you're lucky, or torture you if you're not. Torture? My teachers never described anything like that. But the Synovium's supposed to be a place of learning, a sanctuary. The Synovium's always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a world steeped in nightmares. If any place has answers, it would be the Synovium. That's why I came here. That's what they want you to think, but things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, yet it leaves me reeling. If it's true, I staked everything on a lie. Then, what now? Leander clears its throat. But as I always say, there's solutions to every problem and alternatives to every solution. He claps his hands and turns to me with a brilliant smile. That's why Kurus pointed you to the bloodhounds. Let's help you, whether it's hunting soldiers, finding people, or recovering stolen valuables. We can do it all, and free of charge. I shake my head before he's even finished his practice speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. Listen, I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my jargon, Leander nods slowly. Then your problem must be fairly serious, and in this emergency first choice, you're searching for a magical solution, aren't you? When my eyes widen, he nods along, as though he suspected all along. I'd be happy to help you out, that is, if you tell me what ails you. Leander might not work for a Cenobian, but if his soul was any indication, then his even stronger than the mates who raised me. He said he couldn't do anything about my curse, but maybe. I'm silent, plagued by indecision. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it, but this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whisper. I'm cursed. Cursed? Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something ancestral or more recent? He looks me up and down, taking my face, my eyes, and finally my hands. It's your hands, isn't it? I wait until I'm certain my voice will remain steady before answering. My touch is dangerous. It changes people. Before I've even finished, Leander begins taking his glove off. He tugs his left hand free, flexes his finger. Let's see it. He offers me his hand. A prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm. An enchantment for protection, but I'm already shrinking away backwards. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is, but I can't bring myself to hurt him, to see his kind face turned into a mask of madness. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse. I'll be fine. Perhaps where you came from, your affiliation was weird, strange, and one of a kind. But spend a year in the city, I will see 1,000 curses, twice as many cures. Do you really think that cures would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm as good as any mage in the Cenobium, better even. If they can help, so can I. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. I look from Leander's outstretched arms to his confident smile. Then with a short breath, I began unwinding the bandages from my hand. Fine, but if you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up first if it makes me feel better. With each joint I exposed, I grow more and more certain this is a terrible idea. Ready when you are. If he's bothered by the way my hand looks, but he didn't show it. My fingers hover shakily over his palm. 3, 2, 1. I tap his palm once, as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. When I took a look at his face, expecting this see the burst, Leander only grins. See? It can't be. This time when I reach out to touch Leander's palm again, he catches my wrist before I can pull away. I told you, there's really nothing to worry about. He trails off my thumb brushes over the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face for any trace of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Color rises in his cheeks, but he remains still, except for the subtle bobbing of his throat. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of Leander's palms, lost in an awareness I wasn't prepared for. I have been with other people, kissed them, been embraced by them, and more, but not like this. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail. The growth of his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the pulse of his heart. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand, not with the dire consequences. I realized what I was missing until this moment. When the elder's pulse is steady, mine is hammering as fear gives way to excitement. Uh, why not? My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his forearm. His smooth skin abruptly gives way to the raised scar, by the edge of his sleeve. It matches the one that runs from his collar to cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? I glance at Leander Swiss, and his lips part as he considers his words before speaking. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? Hand goes still on his arm. So far, I admit your touch does make it somewhat difficult to stay level-headed, but I not due to your power. He takes my hands. His soft green eyes flick to mine before he turns it to inspect the golden pieces crisscrossing my knuckles. Look, we match. He points at a golden pin on his coat collar, and I give him a small smile. I draw my hand back, take a steady beat. My head feels as though it's stuffed with cotton. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that worked. May I ask your name? I'm Harper. You were right to hide this from me, Harper. That curse of yours, it's unlike anything I've ever dealt with. I can tell you, you're discreet, but you'd best not go showing off to anyone else. I didn't plan on it. Are you staying in Lowtown? A pause. Room and boarding was something I hadn't even yet considered. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. The red brick is noticeably brighter. Most of the bloodhounds have dispersed without the leaders, or in a few cases, fallen asleep beside the drinks. Got any rooms left, or did my lord grab them all to slip it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. You know I always keep the corner room open for your escapees. Leander laughs, sounds slightly strained. And I always appreciate it. But you're mistaken. This is just for my friend Harper. Sure, sure, stay as long as you like. You two have fun. Escapees, huh? Leander clears his throat, then holds the key out to me. But I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Bloodhound's rates. My treat, since you said you secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, anything you need. Carefully I take the key from him. It smalls, but weighs heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Aradia, let alone free meals. Thank you. Go explore, Harper. You'll find many roads in Aradia. It's leading to different answers. But if you need a reply from what haunts you, come find me. Just be careful. I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into my pocket of my cloak for safekeeping. Leander gives me one last friendly wave before I depart. There clings, sudden and heavy. Without a morning crowd, the sunless fields look barren and bleak. Even the peddlers are long gone. toast remain quivering over stale crust in a curtain. I feel a ridiculous pang of envy. At least I've got a reason to fight. I've never been this lost. Chorus and Leander both made it clear that the Servium can't be trusted. But I came so far, endured so much. I need to see the Synovium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. I should have asked someone at the bar for directions before leaving. I'm about to turn back when a shadow passes over me. A cloud, I think, until a puff of hot breath tickles the back of my neck. The shadow rubs down the street and rivulets, formless, dark, spreads like ink into blotted spaces. Claws stretch, a muzzle splits open to reveal long jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep I feel it. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped, as though the slightest movement or a single breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I'll see what got me first. I'll seal myself, then turn. The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came. I'm left standing in the middle of the street, alone, except for a figure reclining in the shadow of a real nearby shop. Is this a werewolf? Cool. A monster, that much is clear from one glance. One that could nearly be mistaken for a here, human, were it not for the tufted ears, the tail curled around his ankle, or the dusk pink eyes with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me. Our eyes meet, and the monster uncrosses his long legs. His hair gleams a shadow of red that reminds me unsettlingly of blood, where it curls around his collared throat. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he is speaking to me. When I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles, regards me with an inscrutable little smile. Didn't you see that shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware of how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. The only beasts I've seen are the big drooling regulars, though this did catch my eye. With a flourish of his hands, my Enki room appears dangling from his fingers. It turns on its chain, glittering where it catches the light. My hands fly to my cloak's pockets, and sure enough, find them flat. He crooks his fingers, beckoning. I've already taken 2 steps forward before some stifled instinct stops me. Something feels wrong. I'm still on the edge, strumming with so much adrenaline that the stranger's shadow flickers at the edge of my vision. I am always attracted to the worst kind of attention, but I can't get rattled now. Where'd you find it? How did you even find it? The key, I mean. What can I say? I'm a sucker for shiny things. His smile's wide enough to reveal pointed canines. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. Settle like this, somebody might take advantage. A bald-faced lie, said without a hint of irony. I can't figure out how he picked my pockets under my nose, but I'm certain he took my key, and I need it back. I approached the man, careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. The stranger's chain softly clinks with the tilt of his head. His ears flick. Keep your distance. I'd be stupid to trust you. You think I stole your dinky little key from all the way over here? He gives me an exaggerated sigh. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a common thief to you? He's got me there. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone would be too expensive for most teeth thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever mean one thing. I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your services anyway. Luckily for you, I don't charge. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang, and for the first time since I stepped into the shadow, I feel something other than red. My face grows hot. That's not what I meant. I'm flattered, really. Over 6 months later, I might make an exception for you. Hmm? How about a half for a handy? Or you could just hand over my key. Ask nicely. I might even let you tug my tail. Just throw it here. So some spindly little street urchin can snatch it and run? He raises my key and tilts his head so he can watch it dangle back and forth. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. Not that I'll be caught dead, slumming in the Westwick with the rest of the slack-jawed imbeciles. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveler, what misfortune brought you to this wretched place? His voice practically drips with derision. I'm not telling you anything. Hmm, what could have possibly drawn you to this dear little Big Ben, I wonder? He listlessly watches the arc of my key swinging around his finger. The weather's shit, the food's wreck, and there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe, unless... The aggressive eyes flick towards me. They gleam with amusement. Unless you're just trying to consort with monsters. By now my impatience has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I've ever heard of. You know what? Let's float back, because why not? How'd you know that I spent all my money, starved, and nearly died in a swamp just so I could crawl into bed with the first thirsty monster I saw? That earns me a burst of breathy laughter. He gazes at me under his dark glasses. Aren't you funny? Could he be even any more obvious? I've been told subtlety's not my strength. Sure, place on mine. I'd invite you if I had my key. If only I had my key, then I might be able to invite you up. His languid gaze glides from me to the key in his hand and back. Come, take my hand and we go together. The more he flirts, the more convinced I have become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeves. And something tells me that this sounds more dangerous than he lets on, even if he has a lovely laugh. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me, but I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack or bite. I won't bite hard unless you beg me. No matter what I say, he always finds a way to twist my hands into invade. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling troupe performing in Hightown tonight. The lead is utterly exquisite, a truly a performance to die for. There's life in this dreadful place if you know where to look. You sound like you know the city well. The man's glance flickers from me to the king dangling from his finger. Naturally, the stump was little more than a miserable smear when I first arrived. High town, low town, I know Iridia like the back of my hand. What about the Solonium? Do you know where that is? His smile vanishes. Surely I've seen it. That absurdly loud tower looming over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. You must mean the spear I noticed when I first caught sight of Iridia. The Servians overrated. Forget about it. I can see things those stuffy bows and the limp deck tower can't even dream of. I've already got plans. Oh, have you some pressing matter at the Cenobium? Launch that with librarians. Tea time with the most esteemed abbeys? That's my business. What's it matter to you? I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. You're lost. The stranger Farley, bored of his tedious scream, extends his hand towards me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. When he makes no other movement, I reach for the key, but as soon as my finger grease smooth brass, his hand springs shut around my waist. Hey, he yanks me down and I stagger, my soul slipping on the steps. For a sick moment, I feel my bandage will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb him, even as his fingers dig into my arm. I knew I smelled blood. You reek of death and road. And that fucking doctor. His voice, once sunken, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil as he pulls me closer. And something else, he murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. Let go. I try to twist away, but he doesn't budge. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. But just when I feel he'll bite, he takes a deep breath instead. His flat, wide eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes up at me. Not quite human, but not quite monster. Seems we're both where? The stranger's ears flatten, and he releases me with a short breath. Yank my arm back, massaging it where his grip left grooves in the bandages. The stranger twists up to around to watch a woman duck from the curtains behind him. Her cenobium uniform is nearly identical to the one my mentor kept tucked away in her closet. I'll leave you for all of what, 10 minutes and you're making trouble again. Will you quit harassing the tourists? The stranger, weird, I take it, rolls his eyes and flashes the cleric a withering smile. So suspicious. Can't you see this is a friend of mine? A natural hire. He grins at me, and his tail swishes minutely. A woman purses her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. I open my mouth to correct him, but Ria cuts in, as gracefully offering my dear friend some advice. Though his voice remains light and cheerful, his expression darkens. Danger is drawn to you like a flame moth to a flame. It will always find you given time. The woman clucks her tongue as his heard this recital 102 times. Word of advice: don't take free advice from lady foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man for the sheer enjoyment of it. She shrugs off a wilting look from Weir. Oh, please, any friend of yours will know it's true. Now hold still. Weir raises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair aside so it drapes over one's head, exposing the long line of his neck. And it suddenly draws me to the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from the key. A heavy iron chain wrought around a hitching post and padlocked to the back of his collar. We have posed deliberately to hide the least from me. The woman produced a key ring from his pocket. She riffles through a dozen identical keys before settling on one and slotting it into the lock. Come on, unless your facts starting on a merry little soulless hunt. They're hunting for soulless inside the city? Words momentarily fail me. Uh, the woman regards me with a polite, if tight smile before marching down the stairs. Will lingers. He stretches his arms over his head with a yawn, and I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens when he arcs his back. Your little secret's safe with me, but try not to get yourself killed, hmm? Weir hops up to the stoop and bounds after the woman. His tail sways merrily as though he hadn't just been lied and threatened me. Did you even try the thing I mentioned? The Leventon knot? That's the one where you take three fingers and actually don't tell me. Knowing you, it's disgusting. Whereas airy laughter echoes down the street. It's only after he and the cleric have left that I realize I'm still missing something. Wait. Reflexively, I shove my hands into my pocket and find it, the room key. I pull it out from my pocket and raise it to the light just to be sure. A nagging feeling distracts me from my relief. I don't know what Weir's game was or what he wanted from me. All I know for certain is that the Cenobite saw fit to lease a fatal chair, if that's what his vague warning meant. I let my wide eyes drift skyward, past the lanterns suddenly swaying in the breeze. Zenobia, faintly visible through the haze. Just one glimpse is all I need, and I put the saw behind me. This time the keys go into my coin purse for certain keeping. It's easy enough to follow the sluggish river that splits Iridia in two. A colossal bridge arcs over the dark water below. I cross as quickly as I can, climbing over every uphill towards the distant tower. Hours later, legs aching, sweat beading on my forehead, I finally found what I was searching for, the cenobium of the Luvius world. It stands at the highest point of Aurelia, surrounded by cold white walls, well-dressed people strolling down the walkway, paying no attention to the massive tower in the midset. I'm the only one standing before the gates. I crane my neck up and up until the top of the Cenobium Tower disappears into the clouds overhead. The gates are so heavily enchanted that even standing near them set my teeth on edge. Alchemically reinforced locks, invisible signals of alarm, and who knows what else. Knowing him, knocking seems like a terrible idea, but I don't see any other way of making my presence known. I'm halfway up the stairs when something moves in my purple vessel. A shadowy figure crouches beneath one of the white walls. They reach out and tug on a vine as if testing its strength. Oi, you there! The shadow vanishes as quickly as I spotted it. A gaunt-faced man in a crisp charcoal uniform marches up the stairs towards me. Ugh, another tourist. Get out of here once you're done gawking. A dismissal wave accompanies his equally dismissive words, and he turns on his heel without even waiting for an answer from me. I look back at where I saw the intruder, but there's nothing, just the leaves blowing gently in a cool breeze. I step away from the gates, hopelessness washing over me. Hello, a whisper so close I can feel the warm brush of breath on my skin. I instinctively jerk away, but there's still no one beside me. Halfway down the staircase, I spot a woman swaying in the breeze. She's gaunt as a rail, her blouse moth-eaten. I'm unable to take my eyes off her, not because of the way she smiles a little too wildly, or the way her tousled braids looked unbrushed for days, but because her eyes shine a vibrant, unnatural crimson. I'm both entranced and unsettled by this subtle girl, red-eyed woman. These days you'll need a miracle to get in there. I'm unsure how to respond, even if I should. Uh, say nothing. After the experience I just had, I'm not too keen on indulging strangers with small talk. Despite my stance, she maintains her unflinching stare and smile. Lucky for you, I make miracles for free. Whatever she's selling, I'm not interested. My words come out in a tired breath. No thanks. I start down the stairs, but she abruptly steps into my path. He turns her back to me before I can react. She slips her fingers under the lacing of her collar. stripping out of her blouse in broad daylight. What did he do? As worn fabric unravels her basket, my panic is smothered by a cold horror. A misshapen, sunken style craves into the woman's body, pitted, curls, skin sneaks down her shoulders, blooming from a gaping hole in the back of her neck. A shuddering breath escapes me. The fuck? By the look of it, the disease that affects this woman ate away at her spine, leaving her with a hollowed vertebrae at the back of her neck. How is she able to move or breathe? It's impossible. She shouldn't be alive, and yet the power to cure anything can be yours too. The power of the sea spring. The woman slides back into her blouse and deftly laces it up. If I ever caught your interest, then follow me. It's only a short walk away. Without another glance, he leisurely strolls down the cenobium stairs. Loose braids bobbing behind her. The edge of her scarf peeks out from underneath her collar. Well, let's save here. Return. Alright, this video has gone enough long, and this video is going on for way too long, and I'll have to continue this in the next part, so stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell button so that you don't miss any future updates from me. And for today, this is it. I'll follow up with a part 2 shortly after. Till then, bye bye.